Hello, dear learners. Today we are going to discuss about environmental friendly marketing strategies. And in this today's topic, we will learn the importance of environmental friendly marketing strategies. We'll try to understand the concept of the green marketing and what type of strategies they use, and we'll study few related case studies. Dear learners, we are concerned with environmental issues now more than ever. Air pollution, plastic in ocean, global warming, and food waste all are among the major threats making us worry and think of being kinder to the planet. In support of environmental health, millions have begun purchasing socially responsible products despite their higher costs. Gripping the trends, companies are turning into a marketing strategy that helps to hook such consumers in addressing their social responsibility and therefore influencing their purchasing decisions. There are many types of marketing, but this strategy is known as green marketing. Tourism can have either a negative effect on the environment, or we can develop strategies that keep tourism in harmony with the environment and therefore have a positive effect on the environment. These types of strategies, they fall mainly into two categories. One is conservation, second is rehabilitation. The conservation implies the preservation of both a natural and man-made environment, natural resources such as wildlife and protected, and the various species are preserved for future generations to enjoy by creating wildlife sanctuaries, game reserves, and national parks. Thus, the natural environment is protected from unrestricted hunting of the animals, destruction of the environment, ecological balance in which they live. In India, average approximately 55 national parks and 537 wildlife sanctuaries. The aim of creating awareness, effective responsible marketing in areas that have been deemed as conservation areas is to identify the marketing strategies in keeping with the objective of conservation. Till now, let's have a case study. We will examine the Sariska Tiger Reserve, Alwar in Rajasthan, and determine the type of marketing strategies that have been used to assist the macro objective of conservation. We'll examine the two marketing variables of one is the product mix and second is the communication mix. The product mix, to recapitulate, the product mix in tourism involves determining access, amenities, and attractions. In responsible tourism, these have to be developed keeping in mind the objective of conservation. Access. The aim of the marketing plan is conservation, and therefore the marketing plan aims to limit the number of visitors per day and not to try and get the maximum number. 2. The sanctuary and the wildlife and fauna should not be destroyed by the visitors, and therefore the tourist cannot go tramping all over the sanctuary on their own. If the tourist enters the sanctuary by car, they can drive only on the certain main routes. They are not allowed to drive in the innermost tracks. Further, there is a speed limit and no horn are allowed. So, no access to the sanctuary is permitted at night after 7 pm and gates are closed for the visitors. Before this regulation, jeep rides to spots the tigers were permitted. However, this was detrimental to the tigers and other wildlife and hence stopped. No one can wander around on the innermost tracks alone, and one has to take an official jeep and guide. The parking lot is outside the gates of the sanctuary. These are all various ways in which the access or the entry to the area under conservation has been made deliberately difficult for the tourist. No tourist can stay inside the sanctuary. The Tiger Den Lodge and the Hotel Sariska Place are a few kilometers away from the sanctuary. These have been constructed so that the buildings are in harmony with the landscape. Surrounding the conservation area, the fauna and trees have not been disturbed in access. There are no high rise hotels where a lot of the landscape is required to be removed to cater to parking and accommodation. Entertainment basically consists of visiting local scenic sites of beauty. No discos, swimming pools have been built. The form of entertainment available are such so as not to disturb the wildlife. This is an example of how the product mix is correctly identified in keeping with the objective of conservation in mind or in the center. This is in contrast to the twist where the product has been designed keeping the wants of the tourist in mind. See the change. The product mix is, in this case, has not been modified to suit the tourist, but developed keeping conservations as the main objective. Dear learner, now let's have a look on the communication mix. In responsible marketing, we have discussed that the element of communication is very, very important. The tourist has to be informed about the importance of conservation. The tourist has to be persuaded not to litter in the sanctuary area, not to play loud music and because it's going to disturb the animals, and no trample on the fauna. Market research on the attitudes of the visitors and assessment of the level of their awareness of the above point is important to gather. This will enable the marketing persons to develop an effective communication mix. No guidelines and publications are available to educate the tourists so that they are aware of their responsibility to the wildlife they are visiting and why conservation is imperative. Dear learners, now let's take the case of rehabilitation, where when a building or an area is used for something different from its original state. This is different from conservation, where the aim is to keep the environment as close to its natural state as possible. Rehabilitation involves a major change in the use of the environment. In the case of the rehabilitation, we have a case study of Neemrana Fort. It's a palace as a heritage hotel. It was bought by a group of individuals with the primary aim of restoring the fort. Later, as the restoration work continued to progress, they began to think of a way in which money could be raised to pay for the intensive restoration work that was required. And the idea of converting the fort into a heritage hotel was born. The fort started operating as a hotel in 1991, whereas the fort was bought in 1984. Restoration work continues and took about 2 more years to complete. Francis Wakzirau, a co-owner, said that the main aim in buying the fort was his passion for trying to create awareness on the necessity of preserving our heritage. India's forts and Havelis are worthy of preservation because of their historic associations for the benefit of future generations. He said that it was this commitment that led him and some friends to buy the fort. The fort is of special value as a historical monument because, to quote from their brochure, I quote, "The Neemrana Fort Palace is situated on a majestic plateau concealed in a horseshoe formation of the Aravalli Hills, considered the oldest fold mountains in the world. The beginnings of this rugged architectural jewel, which rises to 9 levels, dated back to 1464 AD, making it India's oldest heritage resort. The site was chosen by Raja Rajadeo, descended from the Chauhans who ruled Ajmer and Delhi till 1192. Its stepped palaces, variously built over 5 centuries, sprawled over 3 acres. Now the product mix. You recall that the product mix in tourism also include transport, accommodation, amenities and entertainment. In Neemrana, The scenic landscape around the fort has not been disturbed. The vegetation and the villages at the foot of the fort have been left intact. There is an ancient step bell a few kilometers away from the fort to which the tourists have to walk through dusty narrow lanes. No wide pathways or roads have been built to assist access. Alternatively, the hotels can arrange for camel rides to the step bell. The fort is being sensitively restored. In keeping with old drawings, no new wings are being added to create rooms on a mass scale. There are at present about 70 rooms in the fort. Entertainment is in the form of the Rajasthani tradition of folk dances and puppet show performed at times by the local villagers. Thus, the entertainment and landscape is in harmony with the aim of restoration. The distribution mix. This you will recall, this is how the product is sold to the consumer. Mr. Wakziar said that he has often been told that the Nimrana Palace is an example of superb marketing. The owners have done no advertising on their own. The publicity has been through word of mouth alone. This Nimrana is not targeted for mass tourism and not positioned on the main tourist circuit. Only a few select travel agencies inform their interested clients of this retreat. Direct bookings can be done from Mr. Wakzar's own office. The pamphlets and brochures stress that the aim of the enterprise is that of restoration. In this today's topic, we'll also try to find out about cultural heritage tourism. The general goal of heritage tourism are to make sure that the relationship between the heritage monument or resource and the tourist is kept in harmony. Management tools of planning, site management, carrying capacity, and compatible marketing all need to be integrated and coordinated. Once again, one must stress the importance of coordination among all the heterogeneous agencies involved in the enterprise of tourism. Sites around the world are given World Heritage status by UNESCO. The Delhi Heart Project by Delhi Tourism has received the PATA Gold Heritage Award in 1995. These PATA, Pacific Asia Travel Association, Gold Award have been instituted to recognize excellence in promoting the tourism industry in the Asia Pacific region and for the preservation and promotion of cultural heritage. Dear learners, we'll have a case study, an intact multimedia experiment on Humayun's tomb. This case study is based on a study by Mr. Nicholas James, which was entitled as The Role of Interpretation for Cultural Heritage Tourism in Orissa. The consultant suggests that a strategy is needed to ensure that the awareness and importance of conservation are fostered consistently to the tourists who are visiting these heritage monuments. For this to be achieved, two factors are very important. One is improved interpretation. This will enhance the visitor understanding the cultural heritage and alert them to the requirement of conservation. Second is about informed participation, is that we need to enhance visitors' enjoyment and satisfaction in a manner that will reinforce conservation. When these two factors are balanced, tourism would support economic growth and mitigate the negative consequences to the heritage resource. The use of interactive media model. Intact developed an interactive media model to promote the Humayun's tomb, New Delhi. This experiment was carried out for 2 weeks during the Man and Nature event held in the capital in February 1995. Mr. Pandey, the executive director of Intact, stated that we now think of tourism as a major positive force for preservation and conservation. What is green marketing? In plain English, green marketing refers to selling products or services by highlighting their environmental benefits. Some call it eco marketing or environmental marketing, and consumer recognize such brands by terms like organic, eco friendly, recyclable, or sustainable. The concept of green marketing appear as the after effect of humans' negative impacts on our planet. Brands illustrate how they change their missions and practices from revenue driven to environmentally aware by business processes that have the least impact on the environment as possible. Goals of green marketing. First is implementing sustainable business practices, demonstrating social responsibility, reducing expenses like packaging, transportation, energy, water usage, etc., demonstrating how safe and mindful products or services are. In the tradition of green marketing, brands launch eco friendly products or create the corresponding environment around them by using eco friendly packaging or refuse from it. Make products recyclable and reusable, use green energy for product production, design products from recycled material to reduce waste, choose local selling to reduce transportation, energy, and more. As a part of green marketing, brands also often participate in recycling programs, become more scrupulous about waste disposal practices, donate to different green movements, and don't forget to educate their customers about what they do to protect the environment and why it matters. To integrate green marketing into our overall business brand marketing strategy, one can do the following: communicate the green message through advertising, or maybe by digital, or maybe radio or television. Promote green aspects of your company through content assets at all points of customer contact, maybe whether it's a website or blog or email, social media, mobile marketing, coupons, word of mouth, cold calls, retargeting, etc. etc. Initiate market research and visualize the result to educate consumers and recommend green improvements to your niche. Partner with like minded businesses for cross promotion, support eco friendly programs and corresponding community initiatives. Focus on green production, in other words, twist green into a part of your brand's identity. To make it work, becomes fully committed to the concept of green marketing in your marketing plan. This includes green design, positioning, pricing, logistics, and disposal. When making environmental consciousness a number one focus of your business, you succeed with both sales and consumer loyalty. In the long term, green brands get more profits and establish a reputation of being trustworthy. Sustainable examples of green marketing. The example listed below are socially responsible, considering the long-term environmental impacts of their business practices. And they have launched green marketing companies to promote sustainable core values. They surpass traditional marketing strategies, educating conscious consumption to people. Here is how Starbucks has been certified by LEED since 2005, but it has moved beyond that by planning to eliminate all plastic straws by 2020 and open 10,000 environmentally friendly stores by 2025. Starbucks tries hard to engage its community in sustainable issues. It uses green materials for producing, packaging, and delivering its products to consumers. As part of its Green Store initiative, the brand also plans to reduce waste and use 30% less water and 25% less power during production processes. The brand designed disposable coffee cups, is involved in recycling, and green building supports farmers and the environmentally sustainable community, and has been hard at work on communicating this message to the target audience. The next example is The Body Shop. This brand is known for its effective green positioning. The Body Shop is approved by Leaping Bunny, the gold standards for non-animal tested products. It also supports farmers, defends human rights, initiates health treatments, and training events for employees, identifies its values as to protect the planet, and what is more important, actually lives up to those values. The Body Shop is known for promoting awareness of domestic violence and AIDS. And it doesn't use demeaning to women images in advertisement. The brand's goal is to develop a new sustainable package for its product, use 10% less and 100% renewable energy in stores, green building, and more. Other noteworthy green marketing campaigns are one is like Coca-Cola with its plant bottle campaign aiming to empower female entrepreneurs, encouraging a healthy lifestyle and helping to conserve water worldwide. PepsiCo with its campaign on reducing water and energy usage across all business operations. Tom's of Maine with its hashtag Green School Fund campaign teaching students how to contribute to cleaner environment. Hershey with its environmentally friendly practices aiming at reducing greenhouse gases by 50% by 2025. Seventh generation with hashtag Come Clean and hashtag Generation Good campaigns encouraging manufacturers to green all production processes. Other ways tech impacts green marketing for those willing to join green marketing and show love for our planet. Focus on brand content to let the world know about your endeavor. The most effective platform are your website, blogs, social media pages, where you can promote your eco-friendly marketing to environmentally aware consumers, build an emotional connection with them, and make green efforts a part of your brand story. Show the audience what is in your business beyond money making and marketing. Dear learners, if we try to summarize this today's video, we can say that social marketing is an approach to influence the behavior of your targeted clientele towards positive changes. Application of unusual marketing tools and strategies with an eye to socially important issues is the major con of social marketing. We have explained the concept of social marketing, and we have provided you some specific case studies on conservation, rehabilitation, ecotourism, etc. The purpose of giving this case study is to make you familiar with the various combination of the social marketing, specifically in case of the tourism. These experiences may help you in designing a marketing strategy for any tourism product. The case of the Sariska is one of a better case, where how the product mix is designed in such a manner, and then how the communication mix is designed to get the best advantage of the product mix. The green marketing is such an example that how you can position your product in the market. Surveys they have already suggested that if the green marketing strategies they could able to convince the customer is about to spend as high as 27% of their budget. If he is convinced that the product which he is purchasing is going to contribute for the earth, it is going to contribute for the conservation, if it is going to the contribute for the rehabilitation, because of course man is a social animal. Similarly, in this Sariska case, what we have done that how these Sariska people they have designed their total product mix, that they are allowing only activities in the core areas. not allowing in core areas, but they are allowing only the out of the core area. Whereas in other case of Neem Rana, those people, the main motive of those people was for the restoration. And once the restoration is under operation, the word of mouth started playing. Now they have a very good loyal clientele, the people, because they have understood, okay, fine, this Neem Rana fort is going to contribute for the restoration only. So if we are staying, our money will be used for the restoration. So this is one of the best kind of, we can say, the case studies under this area. Nowadays, this green marketing has become a buzzword. Even the hotels they are using, restaurants they are using, tour operators they are using. For tour operator, what they have gone a little further also. They are using it as a part of the responsible tourism campaign. You can visit the websites of the many leading tour operators of the world. You will find they have written some fantastic cases on the responsible tourism. They have attracted the bloggers to write something like this. What does this means? Once you start creating certain content, as we are living in a digital era, here what is the more valuable? It is the content. So, if content is telling you something about the green marketing, then it's going to pay you good. Thank you very much.